I haven't really told many people this story. I mean, I've told my wife, and I've told a couple people that I felt needed to hear it, but I don't think I've ever broadcasted it like this or talked to anybody about it. But growing up, like, I don't think I really had a testimony. I think I went to church because that's what my parents wanted me to do, and because it was almost like expected. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't necessarily because my own desire to go. I mean, I was a good kid. I made some mistakes, nothing horrible, but I never read the Book of Mormon. I never did anything like that. You know, I mean, I had all the experiences there that eventually caught up, and I can look back and see where I had good experiences and things like that. But the first experience I had in the mission was we went to the Marine Training Corps, the Marine Corps training base on Parris Island, and I served in Georgia, but we had a part of South Carolina, and that was in the mission. And we would teach the recruits every Sunday. Every Sunday they had 2 hours to go to church, and there was probably like 30 churches in this building, and the recruits could come in and they can choose where they wanted to go to church. And, you know, sometimes we would just get random people that just wanted to go to church that came to our services that weren't LDS. Or we'd have LDS recruits that would bring other recruits to our services that weren't LDS. And I was teaching. There were so many recruits, we had to split up our companionship and teach in one corner and teach one corner because they were on different lessons. And so we were teaching, and this one guy, his name was Recruit Evans. We connected, and I was teaching him, and I think I was almost getting more out of lessons than he was. But when the commitment came to be baptized, he said yes. And so at that point, that scared the heck out of me, because I didn't know that I was worthy to baptize my now friend, you know. And I had a struggle with this. I couldn't sleep at night. And when you read in the scriptures that, you know, you read about this pain that came from sin and like the weight of it, I felt that. Like, it felt like I had this, you know, crazy weight hanging on me, because I'd never repented. I'd never talked to the bishop. I'd never, you know, prayed and asked Heavenly Father forgiveness. And then everything I'd done in my life started to come back, and it haunted me, and I couldn't sleep at night. And I was feeling that the church was true, and everything that I'd been taught over my whole life, I started feeling it. But I also started feeling this pain that came from sin, and I couldn't sleep. And one night, I thought I was going to go home off mission, and I didn't. But, you know, I was scared to death to go home. I was scared to death to baptize someone if I wasn't worthy, you know. So I went into the bathroom, and it must have been like 3 in the morning after not sleeping for, you know, 2 straight weeks. And that was the first time that I had ever knelt down to pray. And that was when I asked Heavenly Father to take that whole weight that came on me and to take it away from me. And that's when I truly felt the love that our Heavenly Father had for us. And I felt all that pain from the sin that I've committed throughout my life that I'd never repented for. I felt it taken away, and it was the first time that I had the Spirit wrap me up and just engulf me. And I felt my Heavenly Father's love at that point. And I felt that I was going to be okay. And I felt at that moment that I was supposed to be there, and that the Lord wanted me to be a missionary. And after that, I called my mission president and worked things out, and I stayed. And then from that point, I felt like that was my conversion. And that's when I really, truly became a missionary. And that's where I think my conversion started. And it's not like the most orthodox, and I don't think that it's the best way to find out if you have a testimony. But luckily, the Lord saw fit to bless me and my life, because that experience and me being on a mission has directed my whole life. And I'm afraid to think of what my life would be like had God not let me go on a mission and have those experiences. But I ended up baptizing Recruit Evans, and from that point, I didn't have the doubt, and I didn't have the fear, and I didn't, have that weight that came from the sin. And that's when I felt, I truly became a missionary and converted, and was able to be an instrument in God's hands and helping other people have, their conversion.